welcome to this episode of the DJ Interview with your host, Harry the Big Dog.
And that be me, Harry the Big Dog here. What's up, everyone? It is Tuesday. It is 8-ish. As always, the DJ Interview starring or hosted by me, Harry the Big Dog. We're going to get this thing started because I want to talk to this guy right now. And you know, he's giving me a little faith today. So we gonna talk to this cat, Mr. Marcus.
What's up, man? What's up?
What's
your brother
going
talking?
on?
I'm chilling, man.
What's going on with you?
Man, it's good to be on a DJ Interview, man. Real talk.
Now, for everybody who is tuning in, Marcus is not a DJ, but we're doing a little something a little different because he is a radio personality, and what he's gonna share with us may help a DJ who's looking to get on regular radio, not internet radio.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get this thing going. Mr. Marcus, what's going on? How is it out in your neck of the woods?
Man, it's cool. It's all right. I mean, out in this area, I'm in the East Coast. You know what I mean? Jersey, Philadelphia. It's cool. I mean, today and yesterday was hot, but I'm in my house. My house is like mad cool, so I got to get a little warm up in my crib. You know?
Okay. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Now, let everybody know, we all know your name, and that's Brother Marcus. We'll call you Brother Marcus.
There you go.
We all know your name. So let us know how you got into this. When we talked offline, you started with your rap career first.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get into that and then get into your radio career.
Mm-hmm.
So enlighten us. Let us know who you are and, how you got into this business.
Wow. Let's see if I can give you the DJ remix. Back in the day, back in like 88, 89, it used to be a group of us, a guy by the name of Big Bob, DJ Swift. These guys are no longer with us anymore.
Right.
But there used to be guys like Funk Wizard Snow, Ministers of Black, and all of these rappers from like Trenton and Willingboro area and Philly. We would go to a station, WPRB 100.3 in Princeton. And we would be on there with Easy M and all of those folks. And that's how we all kind of got started, being on the radio, having a lot of fun. And I was a rapper back in the day, over 30 some odd years, Yeah, so I mean, I go way, way, way back. When I started out with guys that used to rap like Carvin Higgins, who's a super producer, Grammy nominated award winner. A lot of people I started out with in the very beginning, like guys like Large Professor, the Main Source, remember,
Yes.
So I mean, Davey Dex, Prince Mix, a lot of these guys from Ravenswood and 111th Street in Corona. Like, I've kind of been around a lot of different type of people. So, that's how I was doing in the rap business, kind of familiarizing myself in that aspect.
Now, for the audience, we're talking Corona, Queens.
Corona, Queens, yeah.
That's
Corona.
where you're originally from.
No, actually, before we came to Jersey, I'm really from Far Rockaway. We're from Far Rockaway. Then my mother moved us to Astoria Houses. That was years ago, and I had cousins in Ravenswood. So Ravenswood is like maybe a couple miles down from Astoria Houses.
Right.
So that's why I was hanging out so much in Astoria, because my mother moved us to Jersey, and I used to come back and forth over the summer hanging with my cousin Reggie and Regina, and that's how I got acclimated to everybody in Astoria.
Roger that.
Yeah.
So go ahead, finish up with the story.
Oh, okay. So, I'm hanging out every summer. I would come out and hang out with Davey Dex and Prince Mix, and these guys they were making like they were making hip hop records, but then they started doing like house records. And I just met a lot of good people back then. You know what I mean? A lot of good people. And one person I really gravitated to was a guy, we used to call him Paulie. And that's, the Large Professor. Most people, they know him. And he's produced like Eric B. and Rakim. I was in the studio when he was doing Money in the Bank for, what is that guy's name? Kool G Rap, or how can I forget him?
Oh, how could you get Kool G Rap?
Man, listen, I remember, being in there and just hanging out with them. I wasn't a popular guy because I was like the cornball from Jersey, but these cats were like, real serious. And I used to hang around Large Professor. That's how I was able to get in to Power Play Studios. If you're ever in Astoria, it used to be like under the L,
right,
in Long Island City. So yeah. So that's how I got started, like being around a lot of rap heads and people that were serious about it, And as time would tell it, things changed for me. I've seen Large Professor make his first single. I believe it was "You Better Think," and then he had another one. I forgot what his second single was. But then he did Watch Roger Do His Thing, and I'm looking at the front door. And when I saw these videos come on, I was like, yo, I know that cat. But Large Professor used to always tell me, yo, Dukes, you got to hang out, And but I lived in Jersey, so I couldn't stay in New York at that time. So, yeah. But I started out doing a lot of hip hop and rapping. And I remember doing concerts when I was like 17 or 18, like 17, when KRS-One came to, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Cheney University or something.
Right.
And, but I was like, I was like an opening act for people like that,
Okay.
I met a lot of people back in my time, man, like a lot of folks. Yeah.
Now, have you ever went overseas, or it was mainly in the tri-state area, which is the tri-state is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut area?
Yeah, it was just around, and just in this area, really, because if you was popping in these areas, you gonna pop everywhere, So I was mainly just in New York City and in Jersey and Philadelphia, and we used to listen to Lady B when she used to have Street Beat on. And we used to, man, I remember listening to all the Philly artists like MC Breeze and Cool C and Steady B and
Discombobulator, Boobulator.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite records.
Yo, like it's crazy. Like when I think back over, how far we've come in the game and where we started, it's really crazy. Because I had a lot of Philadelphia influenced artists that I really, 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 really like. Remember Joe Ski Love? I don't know where he was from.
Yeah.
Or he did the Pee Wee dance.
Pee Wee dance, yeah. Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman. So it was like all of those cats was really doing their thing. And I was surrounded by a DJ that used to work with me named DJ Swift. And he was from Philly. So he had all of the Philadelphia influence. And he liked people like Cash Money, DJ Cash Money, Jazzy Jeff, all of the Philly great, DJs. And he hung around a lot of people like EST, 3 Times Dope, DJ J Ski, like all of these people made a big impression on DJ Swift and vice versa. He made a big impression on DJ J Ski as well. But it was a different time back then, like DJ Cam and all of these guys, man, like they really are solid dudes. Even Cam is still DJing today with J Ski.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some solid
heavy
dudes.
hitter DJ Cam you're talking about.
Yeah, and the scratch mechanic J Ski, yeah, man.
Oh, Mike is saying he live in Co-op. I think he was talking about Joe Ski Love.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where he lived.
Go out. Shout out to Mike. What's going on? If you are here, give us a shout out. Let us know who you are and where you are listening from. So,
Absolutely.
Wow, man. So, you got into this Philly scene, and the DJ thing just never came up for you. You went from rapper to what we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Yeah. It was really crazy, man. Like, I just loved like the music and what you could do with manipulating records. And I remember like one of the biggest influences was a guy by the name of Calente. Now, most people know him as Super Lover C and Casanova
Right.
Rudd. They came out with a record called Do the James. And I remember the first time meeting him, that really messed me up because it was like no one rhymed like him. No one rapped like him. No one sounded like him. And when I heard his records, it was like, how do you, his style was more to me like rhythm talking.
Right.
It wasn't rapping. It was just like he had this, super love, just because you don't know that don't mean that you can't get it. Like it was just like his style was incredible.
It's still ill when I listen to it. I'm strictly old school, so I still listen to all of these songs.
Yeah, he's got a new. He's on this joint called I think 110 or something like that by DJ K Slay, and he's on there. Yeah. But anyway, so I was mesmerized by Super Lover C, and there was a girl in Astoria, Ravenswood, that knew him. They were cool. And once she knew that I was like a big fan, like I was losing my mind, like, Super Lover C, nobody's better than, Super Lover C. So one day she was like, your Marcus, Super Lover C, she was like, Calente, he's coming over. And I'm like, yeah, right. She's like, no, seriously, he's coming over. And when I first met him, it just blew my mind because he was just an interesting dude. He was really cool. He wasn't trying to be something that he wasn't. He was from Astoria houses and, really good dude. And that was the first time that I met him. And I really said that at that point, I want to do something really, really, really big. And he was real kind to me. And the craziest thing is I happened to catch him on Facebook some months ago. And recently I had hit him up and just to tell him, hey, man, I appreciate, the influence that you had on me as far as me being a writer and stuff like that and wanting to rhyme. And, he had a really big influence.
Right.
And, a lot of history, man.
Yeah.
A lot of history. People, they only see me now because a lot of people, they just see me like in what I'm doing, like inspirational gospel radio.
Right.
But a lot of people, they don't know that my roots are, from the hip hop. My mother used to write poetry all the time. So having that rhythmatic mindset has always been a part of who I was. Right. And I just wanted to put it to a rhythm and make it work. And, we did what we did,
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a great segue. You went from, listening to and hanging out with some of these hardcore rappers to the gospel side of things. Explain how that happened.
Wow. Sometimes in life, if you learn to not push yourself into anything, but allow yourself to flow through life, you know what I mean? You'll find out your purpose. I always wanted to make records. I always wanted to perform. I used to perform, in front of hundreds of people. And, but for me, it was almost as if something supernatural was saying, this is not the lane I want you to be in, Right. And so I just started, getting into self-awareness, self-actualization, realizing who I was, what God is calling me to do and be. And that's when things just started opening, doors just started opening in this direction. And I just kind of went with it. And the story for me being on radio now, and I think let's go back like 15 years. I had lost everything. You know what I mean? I was living here and there and didn't have nothing, no money, no anything. But I bought myself a Metro PC phone. And I remember taking my little phone and I used to put inspirational messages in it for myself. You know what I mean? So I could always just go back and, encourage myself because I was going through a hard time. I lost everything. I had a house before, I had cars before, I had it all. But I lost it all. And then once I started really trying to get myself centered and focused again, I started keeping these messages. And one day something said, send it out. So I started sending it out to everybody that was in my phone. And for those who remember, y'all know who y'all are. I started sending these messages out. And one day I had stopped. This was a crazy thing I was doing for like a week and a half. One day I just stopped. And a guy by the name of William hit me up and he was like, hey man, what happened to that word, that message? I was looking for it today. And I was like, oh, sorry, man, give me a minute. So I sat down, I thought about whatever it was I was trying to send. I typed it in and I sent it out to everybody that day.
Wow.
And from that day, imagine if Will never said nothing to me.
I was just about to say that. What if that call never happened?
If that
would we be talking
happened,
about this?
No, we wouldn't. So what happened was I sent the messages out, and a guy by the name of Derek, they call him Pooch Man back then, and he was on. He used to be on, I think, Power 99, and then he went to Radio 100.3. It was a hip hop and R&B station.
Right.
He got my message, and he was like, he called me, and I'm like, because I heard of him, but I didn't know him, but I heard of him. He was from the same borough that I grew up in. And he was like, hey, man, he called me and was like, yo, where did you get this from? Whatever I sent him must have impressed him, because he was like, yo, where did you get this from? And he just started asking me questions. And he was like, I'd like for you to do this on my show. And I'm thinking this guy's going to clown me because he was a funny guy, clowning everybody. And he was like, I want you to do this for my show. And he said, well, what do you call this? And I was like, I don't know, the elements of inspiration. So he called me back at the top of the hour of his show. And he said, all right, everybody, we got the good brother Marcus with the elements of inspiration. Go ahead, Doc. And I had to say something, whatever it was that I text. It was something like, you can do better. You can be better. Just continue to press forward. Remember, God loves you and so do I. It's your brother talking. And that's kind of how I started it. It was only less than like 15 seconds. But from that moment, people started wondering, like, who is this guy, Brother Marcus? So a lot of people started noticing me. And one guy was like, yo, by the name of Phil Stewart. I think I was probably on there for like a month or so. Phil Stewart heard me on the radio, and we ran into each other somewhere. And as we were talking, he was like, I do websites. I'll do a website for you for free. And I'm like, what? Like, everything started turning around from that little, 15, 30 second drop. And then from that moment, that's when everything started to snowball into the popularity part, where everybody started knowing your name and showing up at events. Everybody's recognizing your voice and your name and the website, and
nice.
And that's when it took off,
Wow. So were you always into the church? Did you just kind of got reeled back, or this was something that when you were in your darkest moments, you just kind of reached out?
Man, I was the biggest sinner in the world. Whoa, drink up with everybody. No. Well, you know what? I was always God conscious. In 1979, I'll never forget it. It was July 13th, which is a Friday the 13th, 1979. Miss Newman, she lived diagonal from 62 Palfrey Lane. My house was on a corner, hers was on a corner. She had a little daughter named Erica. Now, we were kids. And I remember the first time I had a close encounter with God, or been introduced to God, that was Erica Newman talking about, hey, we're going to have, Bible study and all of this, and I'm like, ain't nobody want to go to that. And she was like, we're going to have snacks and sweet treats and candy and all that kind of stuff. Now, I was a poor kid, so I was like, yo, I'm going for the snacks.
Now you in there.
When I went there, everything for me changed. And this is the crazy part of this right here, man. I remember when I got saved, when I gave myself to the Lord, I was, 8 years old? I was 8.
Uh-huh.
And Miss Newman said to me, I'm going to write your name down in this book, the date that I accepted the Lord. And she said, and when you become a man, you can come back and see me, and your name will always be in this Bible as a reminder.
Right.
So let's fast forward. I came down to Jersey for a funeral years later. I was probably maybe like 24, 25. So I come to Jersey and I go to the funeral of DJ Swift, God rest his soul. And I said, I'm going to stop over and see Miss Newman, because I remembered that she said my name would always be in that Bible as a reminder of when I accepted the Lord. And I remember going over there and we talked for a while, and I asked her, and she brought me into her house, into a dining room, opened up the bureau, took out that Bible, and my name was in there from July 13th, 1979. And it was crazy. So I had to get a picture of it.
How did you feel seeing that? You probably didn't remember, the full details, but how did you feel when you seen that again, knowing the state of mind you are?
It was kind of like my second birth certificate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was real for me. And, like I've been walking with the Lord. I'm 50 years old now, so I've been walking with the Lord for like 42 years. Now, has I been perfect? Certainly not. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. But I stayed focused, especially as I've gotten older. My focus has been very sharp. And I think the authenticity of who I am has brought me to the place where I am,
Yeah. Wow.
So,
you know what you know what that is? That's faith right there.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Enlarge this. That's faith right there.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not yet seen. Some old biblical stuff, man. You know.
So now with the radio station, how long you've been doing this, and what's it like on a daily doing your show?
Whoa, let me see. What's it like? Well, I mean, doing the show, I enjoy doing, what I do, because you have an opportunity to help people, with uplifting them and motivating them. And the music that we play is inspiring. You know what I mean? And so for me, I love what I do. It's not about the financial remuneration at all. To get a little biblical, the Bible says your gifts will make room for you. This is the kicker. When I was young, when I was a little kid, I had a speech impediment. I remember going to speech classes and being in resource rooms because they didn't think that I was sharp because I really couldn't talk right. And I remember, having to get help with talking. And the funny thing is the gift, well, what they said was a handicap when I was growing up wasn't a handicap at all. It was my gift. So I get compensated for talking on the radio. Really?
Yeah, I know,
it's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy. So I enjoy what I do, man. And I think being a radio personality, people can tell how authentic you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not being yourself, people can see through it. Being on the radio, some people say it's kind of like theater of the mind. But you can't be fake. You got to be real. You know what I mean? As when you're spinning records and you're getting into a groove of playing music, if you step out of that element that you're in and do something corny, you're going to mess up the party.
Kill the DJ.
yeah, right? So,
wow. That is great. I mean, just to be where you were with the rap game. When did you know you wanted to get out of this rap game and go more gospel with your music and your radio career?
It's really funny. I never threw away, the hip hop or, the rap or anything like that. Because I remember right before when I started really getting focused, and right before I moved back to New York City, I must have been 17, I must have been 18, 19, somewhere around there. And I was still rapping, but I felt for me, I was getting kind of old. But then I just started wanting to do something more, uplifting, because at the time there a lot of people were coming out with conscious rap.
Right.
You had the Commons, you had so many other groups that were just, being more conscious. So I started wanting to do the same thing, but kind of attributing everything over to God. But that was just my thing. And it didn't work for me. Not that I wasn't good. It just wasn't my time.
Right.
It just wasn't my time. And so sometimes the best things in life happen when you allow the flow. Because nowadays, in the last 4 years, I put out 4 records. And, I call them more like rhythm talk records because I'm not a singer, but I can hold a note.
Right.
And I'm at a place in my life where I make records because I enjoy it. and because I can, and not for fan base or accolades. You know, when you get a certain age, it doesn't even matter. You just want to be able to say, hey, I'm able to do it, or I can help other people, you know, get into the game and do it. Now I have a distribution situation, so I can help other artists.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter the genre. I can help other artists, and I know there's a lot of connections that I've made through the years that if I would have had these connections years ago, I'd probably would have been doing something else. You know what I mean? But everything happens for a reason. And I want to share this with you because as DJs or music lovers, I have my own collection. I'm only going to show a few, not all of my collection, but this is the kind of music that Brother Marcus likes. I like records like Simon and Garfunkel.
Wow. Yeah.
I like records like Simon and Garfunkel. I listen to Jim Croce. You know, bad Leroy Brown.
Yeah.
Baddest man in the whole town. And I got some Marvin Gaye.
Right.
I listen to Marvin Gaye. And, you know, my wife got me this Sinatra. Ultimate collection. Sinatra. And then I got a little bit of this Peter Frampton's The Bee Gees, Sgt. Pepper's, Hearts of Lonely Club. You know, I love this. This, if you're a DJ, you got to have records like this. And my last one that I'll show is my Beatles. This is a classic. My wife got me this one too. It's the Beatles. So, I mean, I have gospel records like Shirley Caesar and but I like, you know, this is what makes me me. You know what I mean? Not staying in one genre or focusing on one thing, but to be a music lover. Like I like jazz and you know, stuff like that. Elevator music, you know. Yeah. I like guys from Aaron Hall to Charlie Wilson. You know, it's
a wide range.
It's a wide range, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So on your radio show, do you play anything but inspirational music? Do you go the jazz way or go, you know, something as an instrumental?
Well, what we do on this station, PhillysFavor, 100.7 FM and 99.5 HD3, live and local. So we play gospel music, inspirational music. We might have some records that sound more churchy or more R&B-ish or more hip-hop-ish. You know, we kind of have a trend that follows the sound of today, because I do believe that God is speaking to all of us, as Fred Hammond would say, in a today generational voice. Right. So, you know, we're not just the usual, but we have a mixture of styles. And one of my records is playing on the station as well as a few other stations. And I have a new record out called, I forgot the name of the record. I got 4 records and I forgot the record. But
just say you over 50.
Yeah, over 50. I'm over 50. And I have a record out. But the name of the single that we have out is called God's Got It. And so that's what plays a lot. Then I have, my first record was called The Train. And that was produced by BJ Shores. My second record was called Over. That was produced by Drake. Not Drake, the Drake, but a gentleman by the name of Drake, super producer. And then I have you know, those 2 singles, and the last one that I was talking about, God's Got It, that was produced and written by, I call them the Drinks Squad. Yeah. You know, yeah, they came together and they wrote the record, produced the record, and we got the distribution situation tight. So nice. There you have it. Yeah. So you're enjoying life, man, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's next? You're doing radio. Are you if this planet ever opens back up fully, are you looking to go out and do other stuff? I know you shared something with me the other day about another opportunity. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that or not.
There's so much stuff, man. I got a lot of opportunities. I don't know which one you're talking about.
It's supposed to be one in the evening on
Oh yeah,
Tuesdays.
we're still there's some things we're still working out, some kinks. I don't want to even
Okay.
say kinks, but we're trying to straighten out some stuff. So, quiet as kept. We'll see how that rolls out. But I am going to be making. I've made some appearances, um, very careful appearances because COVID is still out. But I will be doing some events. So when I do show up, I'll be in and out, not really hanging. I'm just trying to get back out and see the people, and just being very careful because we got to get past, all of this stuff that's going on. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've
Now,
turned down a lot of events, but I'm gonna kind of, go and stick my head out of a few of them.
have you done anything virtually?
Um, that's funny. Not outside of me just doing like a Facebook Live. I haven't done any virtual concerts or anything, which is a good idea. I should do but they got these little things called tiny desk shows or whatever. I should do a
Yeah.
little tiny desk joint for my single.
Mm-hmm. You should. I mean, I tell people all the time, this live streaming and online is not going anywhere.
hmm
Hopefully, live events happen, but I think they're gonna be hybrid, live
Yeah,
slash virtual.
yeah,
So that
yeah.
way you can get more people to see your event. You
hmm
know, it's
Yeah.
logistics behind it, but I think that's the way it's gonna be, and
hmm
we're talking soon.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are doing a lot of this, live streaming and
Hmm.
all that stuff. And big shout out to you guys over at DJ Interview, man. You guys are awesome, man. I see you guys are doing some great things, and much respect, man.
Thank
DJ
you.
Cam, the whole crew. Yeah, I gotta come and hang out. Next time you come out to South Jersey, we're gonna mask up. And we're gonna connect and chop it
Roger
up with
that.
yeah, chop it up with Cam and you. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
been a minute since I saw him.
Yeah. Well, definitely, I will let you know when I'm coming back. Anything you want to let your listeners know. And thank you, everyone that's watching. And thank you to everyone that's watching the replay.
Yeah, well, I just want to say thank y'all for the love and support. Everybody that's been, supporting me on the radio and, with the records and all that kind of stuff. I truly appreciate it. I don't take any of it for granted. And if I can say anything that's going to help somebody is be authentic, be yourself. Don't try to be something that you're not. Don't rush the situation. Go with the flow. Trust your instincts, and don't focus on wanting to be a star.
Yeah.
Focus on being who you are, and everything else will fall in place. Trust and believe when I tell you.
Yeah.
Don't rush. Don't rush nothing. Don't rush a thing. Take it
Hmm.
all in stride. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because you'll enjoy it later. Now I'm gonna say this. Some people might be like, "Nah, that don't make sense," but it took me 30 years
Mm.
to have a record out and playing on the radio. Now, what's crazy is I've been in talks with records that I've done. You know,
Yeah.
I've signed, a management contract, a record contract before. Been there, done that. But when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah.
So don't. If you're a DJ, continue to do what you do. Don't worry about being better than this one or that one. Those days of trying to compare yourself or trying to be better than, that's old and whack and it's played. What's real hot is being you.
Yeah.
Nobody can ever fault me for saying, yo, you're trying to be like, yo, I'm 50 years old, bro.
Exactly.
I ain't trying to be nobody. You know what I'm saying? Not at all.
Let me bootleg off of that and share something, with you guys, and maybe a few people know, but at the beginning of this DJ interview, which I started June 1st of 2020, my first ever show, I don't know what I'm doing, and I did a couple of episodes, and basically I'm reading questions from my notes on my other screen. I'm looking at my other screen now, so I read notes. And after the 4th episode, I'm starting to sound robotic. So then I have people in my ear, and I'm in my own head about, man, let me listen to somebody else. Maybe I can emulate them and emulate that. And then I had a couple of my friends like, yo, don't worry about how you talk, because I know I be messing up words and all that stuff. It's like, don't worry about how you talk. Everybody listens to you because you're you. And the word you said, authentic. So after that, and when you're doing a live streaming, you're worrying about views, and you want to know how many people are looking. I could see a number here, and it's disturbing. It used to be disturbing to see, sometimes nobody is on, and you still have to talk and conduct like all 3.5 billion people are watching.
Right. So but what makes it really cool is you could be yourself, and you can always call it like practice runs, because like I said, man, when I would go out and do events, I don't care. I've been in front of 30,000 people, packed out, places, and then I've been in places where there's like 15 people show up. I'm still gonna do what I do. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I love what I do. Yeah. And so that's the whole thing, man, is do what you do, because what happens is when you're hot, and when you're not hot, you're still hot. You know what I mean? Yeah. You will forever remain hot. You will forever remain you. And eventually, what's going to happen is people will catch up to your vibe later. You ever hear an artist that comes out and you're like, oh, this is the best thing. No, this is so great. And then you find out that artist had records prior.
30 years ago.
Yeah, you're like, this guy has records I didn't know about. So it's like when you start doing this, the DJ interview, as your interviews start, piling up, and everybody's like, oh man, this guy's so dope, he's so fresh, he's so classic. They're gonna be like, man, he's so new, and they're gonna be like, go back to his first ones, and they're gonna be like, yo, how come I never noticed that? Yeah. The world has to catch up with your flow. Yeah, that's it. The world has to catch up with your flow.
You really have to have that mindset, because the numbers and the views and all of that will get to you if you let it.
And that's why I don't. Like I told you, like I always say this, if you like my records, great. If you don't, great. It's stopping me from
from doing what you do,
or doing what I do. Yeah. So that's why I just, like, when I do things, man, I just do what I do. It's kind of like being a chef. I just cook up the stew and step. You know what I mean? Take it or leave it. The food is ready and it's good.
Oh yeah. So Brother Marcus, I want to thank you for your time. Sure. If there's anybody you want to shout out, do that now.
As Snoop Dogg said, I want to thank me. I want to thank me
for showing up today.
Just a big shout out to my radio family, all my radio station friends, all of my fans of the show, Element of Inspiration team, everybody. Love y'all for real. 100.7 FM and 99.5 HD3. Love y'all. Thanks for the opportunity, for allowing me to get on and do my thing. And it'll be my 1-year anniversary in October with this new station in Philadelphia.
Oh, 100.7 happy anniversary. FM. So I caught you at a good time.
Yeah, man. We're gonna be I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna be partying and celebrating.
Doing something.
I'm excited.
How could people reach out to you and stay connected to you?
Call my mama and them. And
call Brother Marcus' mother.
Yeah. God rest her soul. Mama, I love you. But this is what I want y'all to do. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter at Bro Marcus on Instagram or Twitter. Inbox me, and if you want to, hit the Element of Inspiration Brother Marcus prayer hotline, feel free to do so. 856-712-0777. And if you don't got it, rewind this interview, or follow me on 100.7 FM and 99.5 HD3. And I'll give it to you. Check out the show every Saturday night, 7 p.m.
Nice. I want to thank you for your time, bro.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for what you do by inspiring people to do what they need to do and
Absolutely.
want to do and be their authentic self.
Yes.
And
hold on, keep talking. Don't run away. Hold on, keep talking. Keep talking. Hold on.
I want to thank everybody who continues to hang out with me and watch the DJ interview. You know, I've been going on elements of inspiration. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The book, that's the book or the CD?
No, this is the book.
Okay.
So y'all go ahead. If y'all want to be inspired, go ahead and get this book. It'll be good for your soul.
Yeah.
That's right. Get that book.
I need the audio version. I don't know how to read.
Don't worry about it. Me either.
But thank everybody for, I've been doing this for a good little while now, about a year and a half. Only missed a few episodes. I need, sometime you need a break.
Absolutely.
But thank you, everybody. And thank you, Mr. Marcus, for re-energizing me, giving me that faith and that inspiration. So thank you. This is Harry the Big Dog. We're going to close it out with Brother Marcus. This is Harry the Big Dog with the DJ interview. And we will be back
with
on
somebody
Tuesday. Yeah. Not sure about next week.
I believe you with these 4 thoughts.
Yes.
That I do on my radio show. I leave for my 4 thoughts.
Yes.
Be blessed. Stay blessed. You're blessed. God bless. 2 deuces, America.
Roger that. We'll see you soon.